My name is Juan Diaz. I'm part of the Mimic development team for FIU Spring 2019. Product owners for the project are Mark Finlayson, Labiba Jahan, and Victor Yarlot. The mentor of the project is Dr. Masood Sajjadi. This is a presentation of UserStory94. As an admin, I would like to halt further progress of student activities. The admin wished to halt activity progress at a specific activity. They did not wish for students to get too far ahead of others or for them to rush through every activity that had to be completed. The requirements for this activity were that the admin should be able to log students for progressing. For example, during the video watch activity, that students will be watching a video. They do not want them to go past that one. Admin should be presented with a list of activities where they can pick the stops. They must be able to pick more than one stop. Individual stops can be clear. And finally, as the student progresses through the activities, they must get some sort of notification that activities have been stopped.
This is a demo of UserStory94. As an admin, I would like to control what activities a student can complete. First, we log in with the admin account. The admin is presented with a list of activities where they can place a stop, meaning after that activity, the student cannot progress. There are no students currently, so we'll create a student. Let's give him username 2, password 2. And let's make it so he cannot go past activity 2. Apply stops. Let's log out. Let's log in with student 2. Student 2 progresses to activities. They must enter a story. This is my story. After a certain amount of characters, they can proceed. The story is submitted. The next activity is the students must watch an inspirational video. This is a placeholder, but after 10 seconds, the next button will light up. It just lit up. So at this point, we should be presented with a student cannot progress. The admin has stopped activities. Please wait for instructions. So let's log out. Let's log out with admin again. We can see the stop is there. Let's clear all stops. There's no stops. Let's log in with student again. We're taken to the last activity the student was in. At this point, if we wait for the next button to lit up, we should be able to proceed. And student goes to activity 3. This concludes the demo of UserStory94. As an admin, I would like to control what activities students can complete.
This is the activity diagram of the user story. It's divided into the admin and student. First, the admin clicks on a stop activity on the activity list presented on the admin's dashboard. This sends a change of activity status method to the activity controller with the ID of the activity. The activity controller basically updates the data store, saying which activity must be enabled or disabled. This is returned, and the admin is presented with an updated list. The student, it's basically his workflow is it's handled through the next and back buttons of the activities. Essentially, the student clicks next activity. The activity component goes ahead and checks if that activity is enabled by a way of passing an ID number. And in this case, it will know that the activity is disabled and show a pop-up of activity halted. Obviously, if the activity is not disabled, it will continue as normal. It will actually take the user to the next activity. This is the use case of the UserStory94. Because this use case affects two types of users, admin and student, we can see that they both have a use case for it.
This is a code review of UserStory94. As an admin, I would like to control what activities the users can complete. The first step to realize this for the implementation of this user story was creating a database object that can hold the activities. Currently, activity information stored on a JSON file in the front end, so it could easily be edited by the application owners. However, for this user story to work, we need that information in the database. This is what the database looks like. This is what the table activities in the database looks like. When the application first starts, we added this logic so that if there isn't a list in the database, the application will go and read the JSON file that the application owner must maintain, and it will bring it into the database. Now that we have that information, we went ahead and modified the admin component of AngularJS. The first thing is we needed a function that could get the activities. And here it is. Also, we added a new variable called stop checkboxes. This variable keeps track of all the activities that are stopped so they can be presented to the user. Also, if a user places stops on those checkboxes, that can be passed back to the backend so they can update the activities. Essentially, getActivities gets the list of activities and sets up the variable checkboxes so we know which activities are stopped. The next two functions added was stop activities, which basically sends stop checkboxes to the backend so it can update them. And similarly, clear stop activities, which sends an updated stop checkboxes variable so it can clear whatever activity was clear on the backend as well. So this is what the HTML code looks like, very simple. It just has a list of activities. And here is just looking to check, this is just pulling to see if an activity is stopped or enabled. If it's stopped, it's going to show a checkbox. If it's enabled, it doesn't show anything. Now, the admin component makes calls to the API service. The API service is just an interface for the backend. Here's the get activities, and essentially this was added, set activity status. So now we go to the activity controller in charge of handling those. Get activities is very simple, just return the list of activities. There's a model called activity repository that basically it's a Java class that mimics the models the database. So there's an object called activity that has these attributes, and for these is returning the whole list of activities. And this is the major code that was added. It's basically set status. Now, if we remember, we sent a checkboxes of statuses. So what this method is doing is iterating over the checkbox, looking to see if the status is equals to false. If it's false, that means, remember, that means the activity must be enabled. If it's true, because you placed a checkbox, making it true, making that field true, then go ahead and disable that activity. This is the major modifications made to the application, and this concludes the demo review for UserStory94. As an admin, I would like to control what activities students can complete.
This brings an end to the presentation. Thank you for watching. My name is Juan Diaz, and you may reach me at jds457@fiu.edu. Once again, the mentor for this project was Dr. Masood Sajadi, and the product owners are Mark Finlayson, Labiba Jahan, and Victor Yarlot. Thank you for watching.